Hi there! My name is Natasha, and today I would love to share with you one of my all-time favorite books, Caps for Sale. This book was both written and illustrated by Esphyr Slobodkina back in 1940. I love this book. I have read it for years for children from toddler all the way up to school age. The reason why I love this book, it's so funny. It uses great repetition. The illustrations also really help to tell the story. And also, there are so many opportunities for the children to participate in the storytelling, which just keeps them engaged and it makes it a lot more fun to tell. So, without further ado, Caps for Sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. But he wasn't like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. First he had on his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, as to not upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. As he sat down very slowly under the tree, he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. As he sat down, he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, brown caps, blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure that all of his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked to the back of him. No caps. He looked to the behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up the tree, and do you know what he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and on top of every monkey sat a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkey looked at the peddler. The peddler didn't know what to do. He decided to speak to the monkeys. The peddler said, "You monkeys, you give me back my hat," while shaking his finger. And do you know what those monkeys did? they only shook their finger back at the peddler and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Well, this made the peddler very angry. This time, he shook both of his hands and he said, "You monkeys, you'll give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands and said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." Now that he felt very, very quite angry, the peddler stamped his feet and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet and said, "Tss, tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground. And then he began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled off their cap. And all of the gray caps, brown caps, blue caps, red caps came flying down from the tree. So the peddler picked up the caps and put them back on his head. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, and the brown caps, and the blue caps, and the red cap on the very, very top. And slowly, he walked back into town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. In conclusion, this book is just so fun to tell. The story is amazing and it's so adorable. Extension activities that could be done. There are so many possibilities. One that is so fun that I've done with preschool children is we've had a head balancing game afterwards inspired by it, where we get a bunch of different colored bean bags and we see how many the children can stack and balance on top of their head before they fall down. So that's a fun sort of physical activity to do. It's fun to do on a rainy afternoon. Design your own hat is a little art project you can do. I've had an educator friend that's also made, like, knit little hats of different colors and given them to the children when they read the story, and each time their red hat is mentioned, the child lifts up their red hat. And another really great idea is to do sort of like a book in a basket, where at center time, say in kindergarten, you can put out all the elements in the story. You can put out some little pretend monkeys and some little pictures of hats and the book, and just let the children have the opportunity to retell the story in their own words or act it out. It really is all up to their creativity. So that's Caps for Sale. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed telling it. I'm sure I'll tell it for years to come. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.